I want to unask my friend to be a bridesmaid. My girlfriend drunk texted another guy. And my husband says I'm being manipulative.
I, 26-year-old female, want to unask my friend, 25-year-old female, to be a bridesmaid. About a year ago, I asked a good friend of mine to be a bridesmaid. We had been friends for about 6 years at that point, so it made sense for her to stand next to me. She has always been sort of an absent friend, there for me when it was convenient for her. I always looked past it because I cared about her and figured all relationships took a bit of effort. Recently, we were at a small get-together. It was late and I decided to go to bed early. There were about 4 people left awake, swimming in the pool and chatting. My fiancé was one of the ones left awake, and I trusted both of them, so I didn't think anything of it. The next day, my fiancé told me she had been jumping on his back in the pool, wrapping her legs around him, and told him she thought he'd have a nice day. He said he pushed her off him, laughed it off, and went to bed. There were other people who saw this and said it was really uncomfortable. No matter how drunk she was, my feelings are so incredibly hurt. I think this was absolutely wrong to do to anyone who is in a relationship, much less someone you call a good friend. I just keep thinking about what her intentions were if my fiancé was into it. Would she have gone further? Based on her history of cheating on her boyfriends, I absolutely think she would have. She has a history of hurting people who care about her, and I just don't think that applied to me. I haven't talked to her since. I was waiting for her to apologize, but it's been over a month and I haven't heard anything from her. I would just cut her out of my life if it weren't for the fact that she is still a bridesmaid. How do I tell her that I don't want her to be a bridesmaid anymore? She struggles with depression pretty badly, and as much as I know it's not my responsibility, I can't help but worry how she will feel. Every time in the past I have mentioned any way she could be a better friend, she always blames it on the depression and talks about what a crappy person she is and says some scary stuff. I don't know how to handle this. Forgiving her is not a part of the plan. I'm trying to move forward in my life with only positive people who care about me as much as I care about them. Maybe say I am uncomfortable with how inappropriately you behaved with my fiancé and it is unacceptable and I feel it would be best you no longer be in my bridal party. Or something like that, especially since she hasn't apologized for her behavior. Write down exactly what you want to say, practice it, and then follow through. If she threatens any sort of self-harm, then you call the police and have them handle it. Then go no contact forever. She isn't your friend and you deserve to have people in your life who respect you and your relationship.
My girlfriend drunk texted another guy. About a week ago, my girlfriend went and hung out with some of her friends for her best friend's birthday and got pretty drunk. A few days go by, and I notice this weird text on her phone from a guy she has never told me about before. Eventually, my curiosity gets the better of me, and I look at the text between them. To my shock, she was asking, almost begging even, for this guy to come hang out with them and have sex with her. She even told them that she would get a hotel room. I could tell from the text that the guy never showed up though. I read all over the text twice, just trying to believe it. I confronted her with them. She told me it was just all a drunken mistake, and she was too drunk that night to even remember sending them. She started crying, which she almost never does, and started telling me how incredibly sorry she was. She blocked and even deleted his number right there, and even promised to give up drinking to make sure it never happened again. I love this girl with all my heart, and I can tell how remorseful she is, and how much she regrets what she did. I want to forgive her, but I'm just not sure about my feelings. That's a lot of mistakes there. First, she had to have the thought. Then, she had to take the time to put it into words, send it, and be willing to act out on it. I've been drunk too, but my dick never accidentally fell into the wrong place. She's only crying because he caught her. She's blaming the alcohol because she's immature. She will blame shift everything in your relationship that matters. She will eventually blame you for her cheating. She may well have been blackout because those feelings are there. Sorry dude, how many times have you drunk texted and not wanted your dick wet? Yeah, she has issues. Take off your red tinted glasses and look at all the red flags.
My husband says I'm being manipulative. I need an outside view to understand if I really am. So I, 19-year-old female, have been sick the past few weeks. Not the Rona, just an autoimmune disease. And my husband, 28-year-old male, had been helping me clean the house, cook and stuff, but eventually stopped, so I picked everything back up, which I didn't mind all that much. It was tough sometimes, but I wasn't working, so it was manageable. Well, last week I started my work back up. I have a small business that I put on hold, and my housework has always been on the back burner when it comes to my business. It still gets done. It may just take me an extra day to get to the laundry, things like that. Our house is never messy until the weekend when my husband invites his friends over. That's what happened over the last weekend. It took me 2 days to clean everything up instead of 1 because he wouldn't help. I was just going to shut up about him not helping for the time being because I didn't want to argue about it in that moment. But he decided he had an issue with me not cleaning immediately after his friends left. I told him they weren't my friends and that I wasn't obligated to clean up after them. He was angry and ended up getting a hotel room to stay in. I saw this as an overreaction, but didn't stop him. He called me in the morning and told me he needs to rethink our relationship because I was being too overbearing and controlling, and that chores automatically fall onto me because he works outside of the house and my work can be done from home. He hung up before I could say anything, so I tried to text him only to find out he blocked me. I just dropped it for the time being because I, again, didn't want to argue like this because I was feeling like trash. About an hour after he called, my SIL called me to tell me I was being a stuck-up, heartless bitch. He told her I kicked him out of the house. She was screaming at me, so I hung up. 20 minutes after that, his best friend started texting me, saying the same as the SIL did with the addition that I was being manipulative by withholding sex. I'm not purposely, I'm just sick and don't have the energy. I still make time for him, it's just been less often. I also found out that he actually stayed at his best friend's house when he told me he'd be in a hotel, which makes me uncomfortable. I finally got one of my calls to go through. I asked him to come home so we could talk. I told him I knew he lied about where he stayed overnight, and he blew up again, telling me I was being controlling and insecure for wanting him to cut his friend off. This isn't true. I'm just uncomfortable that he lied to me to sleep at his female friend's house. I don't want him to cut her off. At this point, I'm freaking out. Did I do something wrong? Am I being overbearing and controlling? I thought it was just a cleaning issue, but it seems like there is something else happening. I just don't know if I'm the cause. I just want some advice and judgment, so I'm here. Long story short, husband says I'm being manipulative because I won't clean up after his friends. No, he's gaslighting you into believing you are the problem and controlling him when it's the other way around. Maybe it's time for the both of you to rethink the marriage and go to marriage counseling. Your husband is a huge asshole. Frankly, and I don't mean to put you down by saying this, but this almost seems like an elaborate plan to cover up the fact your husband is doing something shady. Getting mad at you over small things, having his sister, friend, and whoever else gang up on you, which is unbelievably immature, lying about where he stayed. Honestly, it sounds like he's cheating. You're too young to deal with this crap. Seriously, how are you being manipulative when he's the one blowing up at you, lying and stuff? Because it's just straight up deflection from his own crabby behavior.
What would your advice be? Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think.